Ladies and gentlemen, fertility rates for men have been on the decline for quite some time now. And I did some videos on this in the past. Well, it has gotten worse since that time. And not only bad for men, miscarriages are up among women. So this is really a bad time, for fertility all the way around. And they said it's really the worst in Western nations. And we know what they mean when they say Western nations. So this is the New York Post, why more men are suffering from infertility than ever before. So this is February 20th, 2021. Sperm counts in Western nations has dropped by more than 50% since the 1970s. And at the same time, men problems with conceiving are going up. Erectile dysfunction is increasing and testosterone levels are declining by 1% each year. The current state of reproductive affairs can't continue much longer without threatening human survival, warns Mount Sinai fertility scientist Dr. Shanna Swan in her book Countdown. Dr. Swan should know she has been researching fertility for 30 years. She studied a miscarriage boom in Santa Clara, California in the 80s, which she was eventually able to link to toxic waste dumped into drinking water by a local semiconductor plant. She moved to sperm rates in 1997, and they've been the canary in the coal mine scenario since. In 2017, she sounded the alarm when 40,000 men showed their sperm count fell by 59% between 1973 and 2011. We are already seeing the effects worldwide. Fertility has dropped 50% between the 1960s to 2015. The United States has a birth rate that is 16% below what it needs to be to replace itself. Yeah, well, the US had been lagging behind on the birth rate for a long time, long before this era that we're in. Though there are obvious factors playing, so they're saying couples waiting and people having fewer kids. And also, many of these couples are childless. They just simply can't have children. The rate of miscarriages is on the rise, and girls are experiencing, puberty a lot earlier. That happened to one of my cousins when we were young. By the time she was 8 years old, she already had a menstrual cycle. And they're saying that is the case even today. There's more and more girls when they hit the age of 8, they are getting their menstrual cycles. I mean, that is really early. That's early. And some parts of the world, the average 20-something woman today is less fertile than her grandmother. Mm-mm-mm. They said actually the grandmother was more fertile at 35 than these young girls today. Girls that are younger than 35. Wow. So your grandma and grandpa were more fertile. It's no wonder then that the assisted reproduction technology market is worth about $21 billion and is projected to increase by 10% annually by 2025. Still, fertility issues have been focused on women for too long. If women want to have a baby, they are often told, clean up your act. But it's probably more important for men to do so. Normal sperm counts range from 15 million sperm per milliliter to about 200 million per milliliter. Though the World Health Organization deems a rate of below 15 million as low. Swan argues that anything below 40 creates challenges for reproduction. Today, the average male is nearing the number of 47.1 million sperm per milliliter, compared to his father, who was on average 99 million sperm per milliliter. It is clear that this is a deeply worrying trend. Not only do men today have less sperm than their fathers, but they also have lower testosterone levels. In 2006, it showed that a 65-year-old man in 2002 would have testosterone levels at 15% lower than a 65-year-old man in 1987. Wow. A similar drop has been noted in young adults and adolescents, according to a 2020 Urology Times Journal article. So even teenagers today got a lower sperm count than their grandfathers had at 65. Wow, that is crazy. That is crazy. If y'all remember, I did an article that came out on GQ. They said the men are, these Western men are more female today than their grandfathers were. I was like, that blew me away. Some of y'all might remember that, especially the ones that have been with me for a long time. As a result, prescriptions for testosterone replacement therapies doubled between 2010 and 2013, according to Forbes. But there was one troubling side effect. 90% of men can have their sperm counts drop to zero while they're on it. Wow. Zero sperm? Zero? Oh, man. Sexual desire has followed a similar path. A massive sexual slump is underway due to declines in people's sex drive and interest in sexual activity. Men now seek help for erectile dysfunction on average of 7 years earlier than they did in 2005, and 26% of men who deal with it are under the age of 40. On the more extreme end of things, there have been an overall increase in abnormalities at higher documented rates. Wow. Oh man, should I say this? They're saying they're saying the P size is smaller today on men than it was years ago. Let's move on. Teenier. Can you imagine that? Wow. Okay, so there have been issues that have been mirrored in the animal kingdom. So they're saying this is even occurring in animals. Baltic gray seals have reduced reproductive abilities. Polar bears have smaller genitalia and smaller than average testosterone levels. Alligators, panthers, and minks have all shown increases in reproductive and wow. So it's even occurring in certain species of animals. Low sperm count. So what's going on? Many of us simply eat too many things that are not good for us. It's way more than that if it's affecting the animal kingdom. Animals are, I would say the animals are eating an organic diet, right? Because they're eating from the land directly and they're eating other animals. So if anybody got the most organic diet, it would be an animal, a wild animal, right? So why is the same thing occurring in them? That's what I'm asking. They're talking about the diet, but if you're saying the animal kingdom is experiencing the same thing, they're not eating the same diet. So I don't know. I don't think I'm buying that 100%. But yeah, diets do need to improve. I do agree with that, but I don't know if I'm going to blame the whole thing on the diet. Because then how do you explain the animals? Animals, a bear is eating other animals and eating, vegetation, and you got alligators that they'll just eat a lot of things that are in water or anything that try to cross the water, they'll just eat that. Those things are organic, right? But well, whatever. So let's go on. Point. Okay, so she's also saying a lot of what they said about the sperm count reduction, plastics, and chemicals. And they were even trying to blame the marijuana for a reduction in sperm. So, I don't think they really truly know. They're just trying to guess these things, but they're talking about chemicals, plastics that are used more today than, of course, many years ago. Flame retardants found in mattresses and foam furniture seems to alter the hormones and cause infertility in men, according to a 2016 study in the Reproductive Toxicology Journal. And additional chemicals such as stain, water, and grease repellents in fast food packaging, paper plates, and stain resistant carpets, among other household items that have been linked to the reduction of semen quality. Pesticides also seem to have a negative effect on male fertility. Herbicides in particular. Okay. Yeah, weed killer. That's what they're talking about. Infertility doesn't just alter a man's ability to make children, it also increases his mortality risk. Infertility, so they're saying men that have fertility problems tend to die younger than their fertile peers, according to Stanford University study. Men with sperm concentrations lower than 15 million per milliliter had a 50% chance greater of being hospitalized for any medical reason at all, and poor fertility has been linked to higher rates of diabetes, heart disease, and cancer. There's also some things that you could do to help. First, quit smoking, cut down on drinking, maintaining a healthy diet, cigarette smokes, reduce sperm counts. So, some of the things that we heard a lot. Meanwhile, men who cycle for 90 minutes or more a week had 34% lower sperm concentrations than those that didn't bike ride at all, according to one study. Saunas are notorious sperm overheaters. Wow, so sitting in a sauna, okay, can affect sperm. Bringing on TV also reduces sperm counts. I guess just sitting too long and watching TV is what they mean. Chinese study on a potential sperm donor. So stay out of the sauna, get off of the bicycle, and find other ways to exercise. So that's what they're saying. Also, cut down on stress. So they're saying, the stress levels are also higher on men with lower sperm concentrations. So a high intake of dairy foods, especially cheese, is also linked with sperm anomalies. All right. Processed meat, they said, also can impact sperm count. Hot dogs, bacon, sausage, salami. Research showed that couples who follow a Mediterranean diet, whole grains, and good fats and lots of vegetables, um, they were undergoing IVF treatments, had a 40% higher likelihood of conceiving. Mm-mm-mm. She also urged people to avoid cleaners and skincare products that are antibacterial. Wow. And oh, wow, I didn't know antibacterial skin products can impact sperm count. Wow. Well, yeah, I guess it all passed through the skin. Okay. And we no longer can afford to behave as though it is business as usual. The time has come for us to stop playing Russian roulette with our reproductive capabilities. It is up to us to heed the message and take steps to protect our legacies. Well, shoot, if you keep dropping any lower, you ain't, your legacy is now. You're looking at your legacy now. There's a reason for this. I mean, think about this, y'all. We are really at the end of this Gentile age. These folks were given 500 years to rule on this earth. Why would they be um, productive now and having a bunch of babies? I would think that would start coming to an end. We're at the end of the era. Why would there be an explosion of births? you know, for them. It wouldn't be. So if we're at the end of the age, it's no need in them having more offspring. It's pretty much over, because we know America's not coming back. I mean, look at this place. You got the disaster from the cold weather now. And look at the time that this is happening. This is happening at a time when America has never economically come back since March of 2020. So not only did you not bring this economy back, now you got disasters on top of it. That's got to be painful. You're not even circulating the same amount of money in the country that you did prior to coronavirus. And now look at all the disasters that happened. And if you remember, this hurricane season was bad. It was like, it seemed like it was a new hurricane coming every other day, you know, and each one was bad. So America, I don't know how many more disasters America can survive through without this economy fully returning back. We know it's not going to come back. Now, there's many that don't want to hear it, and they'll tell you, "Oh no, we'll come." No, no, baby, you ain't coming back. You ain't coming back. We're at the end of an era. It is over. And I really believe the fertility is connected to the end of that era. Why would you be fruitful and multiply at the end of your rulership? It wouldn't make any sense. So I can see how our Heavenly Father would turn off the fertility too. But y'all, please tell me what you think. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.